Hey everyone, welcome back to the another new video. In the previous video, we discussed about version control, introduction to the version control. In this video, we're going to talk about version control using the git and the command line. Uh, let's go to the Visual Studio Code, and the first thing I do is to open the terminal and a new terminal. Let's hide this so and gotta need to change the directory location. Let's copy the code and paste over here. This will change the directory location and make directory by my name Ajay, and this will make the directory, and let's change the directory to the Ajay, and we're in here now. And here I'd like to give you a suggestion, that is, if you are not familiar with the command lines, I want you to learn some of the mainly used commands, such as creating and writing, and some of the commands. Like, as a human, we need to learn something like necessary. Some of the things that we have, some of the things are mandatory, such as walking, speaking, something like that. When it comes to command line, some of the things you need to learn. Okay okay let's start the another thing, that is, let me create a text file, that is chapter 1, by using the command that is called touch, touch, and text file name is chapter1.txt. This will create a text file inside here. Here you go. And if I wanted to write some coordinate or some any text in it, all I got to do is to use code command and the chapter dot file name chapter.txt. This will do. Here you go. This enabled me to write something in it. What I'm gonna write is, hello, my dear diamonds in the rough. Okay, this has been successfully saved. The next thing I'm gonna do is to let's create that is called local git repository. To do that, all I gotta do is to initialize that. To do that, I'm gonna use a command called git init. This will initialize. You can see it's a file that is .get. Even if I refresh it, I'm not gonna able to watch it. Looks like I made a mistake. Code. This created another file. I'm such an asshole. I made a typo, so I got to face it. Let's change the code. Let me delete this one. This is deleted, and copy this one, and code chap no, oh, chapter 1.txt. Here you go. Don't save, and paste over here. Okay, now everything's fine. Okay, now we successfully initialize the git as well. The next thing we're going to do is to check out the files in it. To do that, we're going to use ls. Even if I'm using this command, we're unable to get this thing. So to do that, what we're going to do is to you're going to use the ls minus a. This will show the hidden files as well. Here you go. We're able to see the git file. And the next thing is, here you can see we're in the current directory called Ajay, and in order to start tracking the changes of our files, here's the chapter 1 example. We're gonna need to uh, we're gonna keep add those files in the staging area. Let me show you that. uh, This is the staging area. This will enable the user to track the changes in the file. Okay, I hope you understand. Let's add that. You know what to do. Let me show you the command to add that files inside the staging area. Mm, Git add and the text file name chapter 1.txt. This will add. So we're in the staging area, and to check that, we're going to use git status. Mm, As you can see, we're in the staging area. If you're not, this will show the file in the red color that represents we're in the what is called untrackable situation or in the staging area. That's it. Okay. Now we'll now get ready to commit state. That is, what we'll do is commit git commit. What is called command. This will enable what's called. This will enable. Let me show you that. What we'll do is this will enable to enter into the files into the git repository. Uh, so in this area, when we git commit, we're going to go into the git repository. So let's do that. Let me show you that how to do that. The commit message is really important. Keep that in mind. It's something that helps you to keep track of what changes you have made in each commit. So when you create a new file save point, you want it to be as explicit as possible about the changes you were made between the last save point and the current save point. So the one we're making the comment is the initial one, so we can give whatever the message we want. We use the command called git commit and minus m represent the message that we wanted to put over there, and we're going to keep the message in the present state. In this situation, we're going to use complete chapter 1 chapter 1. This is good, right? Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is to check the status. I guess status isn't the matter now. We're gonna use the git.log to check the status. Here you go. This will show the commits, and this one shows the message, and this is a charm, and this one's the one who made the commit, and this one is an hash code. This will be different. This had represent the current commit, and I hope you guys have understand what we're talking about. And you can see that this commit was made at this time. Okay, and hash code uniquely identifies a particular commit, and then right at the end of you see the commit message of what this save point is all about. Okay, complete chapter 1. This is in the present state. So now I'm going to create two more files. To do that, we're going to use touch command and the two for what do you want? I guess I'm going to give the name as chapter 2.txt and touch chapter 3.txt and write some text in it. Text in those code chapter 2.txt, and here you go. This is a text file 2. This is a text file 2, and code chapter 3.txt, and you're going to write this is a text file 3. Okay, now those were in the, this makes sense when we watch the code. So now let's go ahead and add the new file, new add let's go ahead and add these two files to our staging area. To do that, we have already know what we're going to use, that is git add and the file name, right? In this, in here there are two files, so we can simply to add all the files in the directory, we simply gonna use git add and dot. Here dot represents specify everything inside the current directory. So let me enter, let let me hit the enter button, and here you can see everything is success. After that, what we're gonna do is to check out the git status. Okay, here you go. So these both files are in the staging area now. So what we're gonna do is to next we're gonna commit it. So we have already discussed how to do that, so let's do it. Commit message is gonna be complete chapter 2 and 3. Yo, this is good, right? uh, so let's hit the enter button. So let's check out the status by using the git log. Here you go. There were total two commits, and had represent the current what's called current commit variant, and we can see that whatever. Let's leave it as it is. Next thing is, let's discuss about, you know what to do if you are following with me. You know what to do, right? Okay. The initial one was completed. Chapter 3 was completed. Uh, Here you can see the initial one. Here's this is the initial one, right? Chapter 1, and it was done at this time. And then later, about 5 minutes later, I completed chapter 1, chapter 2 and 3, and that was the second commit. And this is where we are right now. Here, this is where we are right now. So you can see the word had. This is the position or the current state we're in. Okay, keep that in mind, and let me show you a pic. Keep that in mind. Okay, this is so important. So now our files are inside our local repository, and that was here the repository, local git repository. Our files were all in the local git repository, and that version is given name through the commit message. So that means even if we messed up our file, even if we messed up our file, this is the one, we can still use the last version under the version control, and we can use a special command called git checkout. Here's the one to revert back, revert back, or roll back to the last position in our local repository, right? Last position of our local repository. And now let's say that I messed up with my chapter 3. Here you can see, I sleep on my keyboard, and somehow it's managed to be saved, and I don't know, I somehow ruined my entire masterpiece. This is all like that kind of code, and it somehow managed to save it by itself, and I ruined my entire masterpiece. But fear not, because we have version control and we have git enabled, so we have nothing to worry about. I can actually revert the changes that I have made locally, in my working directory. So at this point, you can use git status. Let's use git status. This will show what we have done. Git status. Here you can see the the thing is being modified is chapter 3. No changes added to commit, and no add and no committed. Commits have been made. That's what is representing. No commit and no add. So and mm, so if we want to, we actually revert back to the its previous glory. But before you do that, we can use the git command to check out what are the difference between the current version of the current 3 and the previous version of the uh, chapter 3 by in our git repository. To do that, we can use the command called git difference, my bad, git and diff command and file name that's been modified. Let me copy this. I hope this will work. Paste it here and hit the enter. Here you can see the red one is the one we have been deleted from that file, and this is the one we have inserted newly. Mm, so now, you look at these differences. It might just be that that there's only few mistakes in my version of chapter 3, and I just wanted to maybe copy some of the things over or have a look at how I added certain things previously and changes my current file. But some other times, it might be that if you want to touch the entire file, you just don't anything to do with it, and you would much rather roll back to the previous version. So if you want to do that, then there is a command called git checkout. Um, that is going to be really, really useful for you. So, what you're gonna do, uh, is you're gonna use the checkout command and name the file. So once, let me do that. Git chk checkout, and the file that we wanted to be rolled back to our previous version is that is chapter3.txt. Chapter3.txt. Here you can see updated one path from the index. Here you can see updated lively, and everything is fine. It's the bastard over here without making himself updated. Okay, whatever. So you can see that almost immediately my chapter 3 has been restored to its previous glorious state, right? And this is the version of chapter 3 now. And the last checkout point, this is the version of chapter 3 at the last checkpoint at which I committed. First time I committed, this is the one I whatever. Let's show that git log. Here, so this is the one. Uh, at the last checkout at which I committed. Whatever. Whereas in this lesson, we looked mostly at the local implementations of Git. So saving these versions on our computer locally. Uh, in the next lesson, I'm going to talk about GitHub and creating remote repositories. So I'll see you there. Let me show you the code. It'll be nice if I screenshot it and put it in my LinkedIn. Let me screenshot it. Okay, everything's fine. I hope you guys have fun. Bye.